Section 10.5 Example 2 on page 623 says another law of deductive reasoning is the law of syllogism. The law of syllogism allows you to state a conclusion from two true conditional statements when the conclusion of one statement is the hypothesis of the other statement. So the law of syllogism says if P then Q is true, and if Q then R is true, then if P then R is true. So notice the conclusion matches the hypothesis of the second one. So we kind of just get rid of this middle piece and go from the original hypothesis to the final conclusion. So here's an example. If it is July, then you are on summer vacation. We're going to assume this is true. We are also going to assume the second statement is true. If you are on summer vacation, then you work at a smoothie shop. So since we know that it is July, and when it's July, you're on summer vacation, and when you're on summer vacation, we know that you work at the smoothie shop, we can take the beginning of the first statement, the end of the second statement, and make a new conditional. If it is July, then you work at the smoothie shop, because the middle pieces match. So the conclusion of the first statement matches the hypothesis of the second statement. So we just move from the very beginning to the very end without repeating that you're on summer vacation twice. Example 2 says, what can you conclude from the given information? For part A, if a figure is a square, then the figure is a rectangle. If a figure is a rectangle, then the figure has four sides. It's important to highlight the hypothesis and the conclusion of each statement and mark the ones that match. So here our first hypothesis is a figure is a square. The conclusion is the figure is a rectangle. The next hypothesis matches the first conclusion that a figure is a rectangle, and our final conclusion is that the figure has four sides. These two statements fit the requirements for the law of syllogism, so we can create a final conditional that says if a figure is a square, then the figure has four sides. I like to use highlighters with different colors because it's easy to see what matches and where my hypotheses and conclusions are. You can also underline, circle, square them if you don't have colors with you. For part B, it says given. If you do gymnastics, then you are flexible. If you do ballet, then you are flexible. Our first hypothesis is that you do gymnastics. The conclusion is that you are flexible. The second hypothesis is that you do ballet, and the conclusion is that you are flexible. Here our two conclusions match. So we didn't have a conclusion that matched either hypothesis. Therefore, you cannot use the law of syllogism. The work for this problem is written out on the next few slides. Now I would like you to try homework number 3 on page 624. If possible, use the law of syllogism to make a conclusion. If it is not possible to make a conclusion, tell why. For number 3, we have, if an animal is a Florida panther, then its scientific name is Puma concolor cori. If an animal is a Puma concolor cori, then it is endangered.